Today I'm going to read another story from my naughty little sister, a Treasury collection by Dorothy Edwards, illustrated by Shirley Hughes. And the story I'm going to read is entitled Crusts. Hello, my talented artists. The story Crusts comes from the section in the book entitled Very Naughty Stories Indeed. A long time ago, when my sister was a little girl, she didn't like eating bread and butter crusts. Our mother was very cross about this because she had to eat crusts when she was a little girl, and she thought my sister should eat her crusts up too. Every day at tea time, Mother would put a piece of bread and butter on our plates and say, "Plain first, jam second, and cake if you're lucky." She would say, "Plain first, jam second, and cake if you're lucky," because that is what our granny used to say to her when she was a little girl. That meant that we ought to eat plain bread and butter before we had some with jam on, and all the bread, even the crusts, or we wouldn't get any cake. I always ate my piece of bread and butter up straight away like a good girl, but my naughty little sister didn't. She used to bend her piece in half and nibble out the middle soft part and leave the crust on her plate. Sometimes she played games with the crust. She would hold it up and peep through the hole and say, "I see you." Sometimes she would put her hand through it and say, "I've got a wristwatch." And sometimes she would break it up into little pieces and leave them all over the tablecloth. But she never ate it. Wasn't she a wasteful child? Then, when she'd stop playing with her bread and butter crust, my bad little sister would say, "Cake, cake," she would say, "Cake, please." Our mother would say, "What about that crust? Aren't you going to eat it?" And my naughty little sister would shake her head. "Oh, messy, nasty crust," she would say. "No crust, no cake," Mother said. But it didn't make any difference, though. My bad sister said, "I'll get down then." And if anyone tried to make her eat her crust, she would scream and scream. Our mother didn't know what to do. She told Mrs. Next Door, Coco Jones, and Mrs. Coco said, "Try putting something nice on the crust. See if she will eat them then." Mrs. Coco said, "She loves pink fish paste. Try that." So next day at tea time, our mother said, "Will you eat your crusts if I put pink fish paste on them?" And my naughty little sister said, "Oh, pink fish paste," because that was a very great treat. "I like pink fish paste," my sister said. So our mother put some pink fish paste on the crust that my little sister had left. "Now eat it up," Mother said. But my sister didn't eat her crust after all. No. Do you know what she did? She licked all the fish paste off her crust, and then she put it back on her plate and said, "Finished. No cake. Get down now." Wasn't she a naughty girl? One day during the time when my sister wouldn't eat crusts, Bad Harry and his mother came to tea at our house. When Bad Harry's mother saw that my little sister wasn't eating her crusts, she was very surprised. She said, "Why aren't you eating your crusts?" My sister said, "I don't like them." Bad Harry's mother said, "But you always eat your crusts when you come to our house. You eat them all up then, just like Harry does." We were amazed when we heard Bad Harry's mother say that. She said, "They don't leave crust or crumb." But my naughty little sister didn't say anything, and Bad Harry didn't say anything either. When our father came home from work and Mother told him about my sister eating her crusts at Harry's house, father was very stern. "That shows you've got to be firm with that child," he said, and he shook his finger at my sister. "No more crusts left on plates. I mean it." He did look cross. And my naughty little sister said in a tiny little voice,
"No crusts like Harry? No crusts like Bad Harry?"
And father said, "No crusts like Good Harry. No crusts, or I will know the reason why." So after that, there were no more crusts on my little sister's plate, and she ate cake after that like everyone else. But one day, a long time afterwards, when our mother was spring cleaning, she was dusting under the table and saw some funny green mossy stuff growing out from a crack underneath the tabletop. This crack belonged to a little drawer that had lost its handle and hadn't been opened for a long time. Mother said,
"Goodness, what on earth is that?"
And she went and fetched something to hook into the drawer, and then she tried to pull it out. It took a long time because the drawer was stuck. Mother pulled and prodded and tapped, and all of a sudden the drawer rushed out so quickly it fell to the floor. And all over the floor was a pile of green, moldy crusts. My naughty little sister had found that crack under the table and pushed all her crust into the drawer when no one was looking. My sister was very surprised to see all that mossy-looking old bread. She had forgotten all about it. When Mother scolded her, she said,
"I must have been very naughty. I eat my crust now, though, don't I? And we thought you were being good like Harry,"
our mother said, and then my sister laughed and laughed. And do you know why she did that? Well, a long time after that, Harry's father got the gas men to put a new stove in their kitchen, and when the gas men took the old gas cooker out, they found lots and lots of old dried up crusts behind it. When our mother heard about this, she laughed too.
"Fancy expecting you to learn anything good from that Bad Harry," she said.
And that is the end of the story. But of course, we know that everybody does good things and everybody does a little bit naughty things sometimes. I hope you enjoyed the story.